The words you speak to yourself in the quiet moments of solitude or in the busy moments of your day shape your destiny. Every great man, every woman who has left an indelible mark on this world has known this truth. They have understood that the conversation they have within themselves is the most important dialogue they will ever have. For the next 3 days, I challenge you to take control of your inner conversation. I challenge you to speak to yourself in a way that honors your greatness, your potential, your divine purpose. You see, the mind is the greatest gift that you've been given. And it is also the most dangerous. It can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It all depends on what you allow it to think and what you feed it. For most of your life, you've been listening to the voices outside of you, the opinions, the judgments, the limitations imposed by society, by your family, by your circumstances. But now, you must shift your focus. You must begin to talk to yourself like this. You are not defined by your past. Your history does not determine your destiny. The mistakes, the failures, the disappointments, these are not who you are. They are simply experiences that have come and gone. They are stepping stones on the path to your greatness. But they do not have the power to limit you unless you allow them to. You are bigger than your past. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victor, and your future is brighter than any shadow your past has cast upon you. When you wake up in the morning, speak to yourself like this: I am more than capable. I am destined for greatness. Today is my day. Today I will make progress. Today I will take one step closer to the person I was created to be. This is a conversation you must have with yourself every day. You must affirm your greatness. You must declare your potential. You must remind yourself that you are not here by accident. You are here on purpose, with a purpose for a purpose. Many of you have allowed the world to define you. You've allowed the opinions of others to dictate your self-worth. You've allowed your current situation to determine your future. But I'm telling you right now, it's time to take control. It's time to stop listening to the negativity, the doubts, the fear. It's time to talk to yourself like you know who you are. It's time to speak life into your situation. You are not your job title. You are not your bank account balance. You are not the circumstances that you're in right now. You are the sum total of every dream you've ever had, every hope you've ever carried, every goal you've ever set. You are the embodiment of potential. And that potential is unlimited. There is no ceiling on what you can achieve. There is no boundary on your capacity to create, to build, to lead, to inspire. The world may try to tell you otherwise. People may try to limit you based on their own fears and insecurities. But you must not allow their voices to drown out the voice inside you. The voice of truth, the voice of power, the voice of confidence. You were created in the image of greatness. You were made to lead, to influence, to change the world. And the first step to doing that is to begin talking to yourself like you already are the person you want to become. This is not about positive thinking or empty affirmations. This is about understanding that the words you speak over your life have creative power. When you speak, you release your potential. When you declare, you activate your destiny. You must learn to speak words of life, words of purpose, words of destiny. Words that will build you up, not tear you down. Words that will propel you forward, not hold you back. You have the power to change your circumstances, to rewrite your story, to elevate your life. But it starts with your thinking. It starts with your words. It starts with the conversation you're having with yourself right now. If you want to see a change in your life, you must first make a change in your mind. You must change the way you talk to yourself. Stop telling yourself that you can't. Stop telling yourself that you're not good enough. Stop telling yourself that you don't have what it takes. Stop believing the lies that your mind has been telling you for years. Your mind is a battlefield. The enemy is fear. The enemy is doubt. The enemy is insecurity. But you have the weapon to defeat them. That weapon is your words. When you speak with faith, when you speak with belief, when you speak with purpose, you are unleashing the power of the Creator within you. And there is no force on earth that can stop you. You are not weak. You are not a failure. You are not incapable. You are strong. You are a conqueror. You are a champion. You were made to overcome. You were made to endure. You were made to win. And the more you remind yourself of that, the more your mind will align with your greatness. For the next 3 days, every time you catch yourself thinking negatively, stop yourself. Every time you hear the voice of doubt creeping in, silence it with the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is that you were made in the image of greatness. The truth is that you have everything you need to succeed. The truth is that your potential is limitless. The truth is that you are destined for greatness. When you speak to yourself like this, your mind will begin to align with your words. Your beliefs will begin to shift. Your confidence will begin to grow. Your actions will begin to reflect your new mindset. And when your mind, your beliefs, and your actions are all in alignment, nothing can stop you. Do not allow your current circumstances to dictate your future. Your circumstances do not define you. Your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, these are the things that will determine where you go in life. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victor over them. You are not at the mercy of life's challenges. You are the one who determines how you respond to them. It's time for you to stop looking at your challenges as obstacles. They are opportunities. Opportunities for growth. Opportunities for development. Opportunities for expansion. You are never stuck unless you choose to be. The only thing that can hold you back is your own thinking. The only thing that can limit you is your own beliefs. The only thing that can stop you is the words you speak to yourself. For the next 3 days, make a decision. A decision that you will no longer be a victim of your circumstances. A decision that you will no longer allow fear and doubt to dictate your future. A decision that you will no longer accept mediocrity in your life. You were made for more. And now is the time to step into it. It's time to talk to yourself like the person you were created to be. It's time to speak words of faith, words of confidence, words of greatness. The truth is, your destiny is already inside of you. You don't have to wait for the right circumstances. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You don't have to wait for the approval of others. You already have everything you need. The power, the strength, the wisdom, the grace, it's all within you. And it all begins with the way you talk to yourself. Remember, your words are powerful. The moment you begin to speak life into your situation, you are creating a new reality. The moment you begin to speak with confidence and faith, you are activating the power of your destiny. The moment you begin to speak in alignment with your purpose, you are moving closer to the person you were always meant to be. So for the next 3 days, speak to yourself like this: I am powerful, I am capable, I am destined for greatness, I am more than enough, I am the master of my fate, I am the architect of my future. Today is my day. I will rise, I will overcome, I will succeed. And as you speak these words, believe them. And as you believe them, you will see them come to pass. You are not here to play small. You are not here to live in fear. You are here to live a life of purpose, to make a difference, to leave a legacy. And it all begins with the conversation you're having with yourself. Change your words, change your life, change your thoughts, change your future. Speak like the person you were created to be. And watch as your reality begins to transform. The power is within you. You are the most powerful force in your life. Take control of it. Take control of your destiny. And for the next 3 days and beyond, talk to yourself like this, like the champion you were born to be. The words you speak to yourself shape your reality. Your inner dialogue has the power to either limit or elevate you. By speaking words of confidence, faith, and purpose, you activate your potential and set the foundation for success. Your past and current circumstances do not define your future. You are not a victim of your history or environment. You have the power to change your situation through the thoughts, words, and actions you choose moving forward. You were created with limitless potential. The greatness, strength, and wisdom you need to succeed are already inside of you. It's not about waiting for the right moment or external validation. It's about recognizing and unleashing the power within. Your thoughts and self-beliefs are the keys to your future. By shifting your mindset and speaking to yourself as the person you were created to be, you begin to align your actions with your purpose. The path to success begins with speaking and believing in your greatness. The words you speak to yourself are the most powerful words you will ever hear. They shape your life in ways that are often invisible but profoundly impactful. Every moment of your life is influenced by the thoughts you entertain and the words that flow from your mouth. The power of self-talk is not just a passing idea, it is the essence of creation itself. It is the foundation upon which you will either build a life of greatness or settle for mediocrity, whether you are aware of it or not. The language you use with yourself is constantly shaping your reality. It's time for you to understand just how much power lies in the conversations you have within your mind, because these conversations are not mere thoughts, they are the building blocks of your destiny. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you say? When you wake up in the morning and face the challenges of the day, what do you tell yourself? Do you speak words of encouragement, hope, and belief in your ability to conquer? Or do you speak words of doubt, fear, and limitation? The truth is, the way you speak to yourself in these critical moments influences everything that happens in your life. Your inner dialogue is not just a reflection of your current state, but a prophecy for your future. What you say to yourself today will echo in your life tomorrow. I think about the most successful individuals in the world, those who have defied the odds, risen to extraordinary heights, and created a legacy that will last for generations. What separates them from the rest of us? It's not just their talent, their environment, or their circumstances. It's their ability to control the conversation they have with themselves. They have mastered the art of speaking words of power and possibility into their lives. They speak words that elevate them. Words that encourage them to step into their full potential. They understand that success begins within the mind, and they protect their thoughts with the same vigor they protect their time and energy. It's important to realize that your mind is not just a passive receiver of information. Your mind is a powerful force that is constantly absorbing, interpreting, and processing the words that you allow to take root in your thinking. But more than that, your mind is a creator. It does not merely reflect the world around you, it actively shapes the world you experience. This is why self-talk is so vital. What you tell yourself is not only what you believe about yourself, but also what you create. If you tell yourself that you are not capable, your mind will look for evidence to confirm that belief, and your actions will follow suit. But if you speak words of possibility, of strength, of confidence, your mind will go to work to find ways to make those words a reality. The more you speak positively to yourself, the more your mind starts to believe it. And the more you begin to see opportunities as solutions instead of obstacles and limitations. The power of self-talk lies in its ability to program your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the part of your mind that is responsible for carrying out most of your actions, behaviors, and habits. It operates in the background, working silently and effortlessly to create the life you experience. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between positive and negative input. It simply accepts whatever is fed to it as truth and begins to shape your world accordingly. This is why the words you speak to yourself are so critical. If you continuously tell yourself that you are not good enough, that you are incapable, that you are not worthy of success, your subconscious will accept those thoughts as truth and will act accordingly. It will sabotage your efforts, your confidence, and your ability to take action. But the opposite is true as well. If you speak words of strength, words of victory, words of confidence, your subconscious will begin to align with that energy. Your mind will start to focus on the possibilities, and you will find yourself taking actions that align with your highest potential. When you speak to yourself in this way, you are creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of success. You are programming your mind for greatness, and over time you will begin to see the results in your life. The power of self-talk is not just about affirmations or positive thinking. It is about understanding the deep connection between your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions. Your words carry energy. Every time you speak, you release an invisible force into the world. These words will either create barriers or open doors. If you continuously tell yourself that you are not enough, your actions will reflect that belief. You will hesitate to step out of your comfort zone, you will doubt your abilities, and you will miss opportunities because your subconscious is guiding your decisions according to your self-doubt. But when you speak words of strength and possibility, your mind will direct your actions with boldness. You will seek opportunities, you will take risks, and you will act with confidence because you have programmed your mind to expect success. It's important to recognize that self-talk is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about choosing to see the challenges as opportunities, not as roadblocks. It's about understanding that no matter the difficulty, you are capable of overcoming it. The words you speak to yourself should reflect the truth of who you are, someone with the ability to rise above, to overcome, and to grow. You may encounter setbacks, but they are not permanent. They are simply lessons on the way to your greatness. Your self-talk should encourage resilience, determination, and the belief that you are always capable of achieving your goals, no matter how difficult the journey may seem at the moment. When you speak to yourself, you must speak as though your success is inevitable. Speak as though the challenges are temporary and the victories are certain. Speak as though the best is yet to come. Your mind must be saturated with thoughts of success, because these thoughts will dictate your actions, and your actions will create your reality. The more you speak words of possibility, the more your actions will follow in alignment with those words. The more you speak words of confidence, the more you will move forward in life with assurance. The more you speak words of courage, the more your fear will diminish and your confidence will rise. One of the most significant aspects of self-talk is that it provides you with a sense of control. In life, you will face many situations that are beyond your control, things that you cannot predict or manage. You cannot control the opinions of others, the actions of the world around you, or the challenges that life throws your way. But you have one thing that no one else can take from you: the power to control what you say to yourself. In the face of uncertainty, your words are your anchor. They are the steady force that will guide you through the storm. When the world is chaotic, when circumstances seem out of your control, your self-talk will keep you grounded in your purpose, your potential, and your power. Self-talk also plays a critical role in building your self-esteem and self-worth. The words you speak to yourself reflect how you see yourself. If you constantly belittle yourself, criticize your mistakes, and focus on your shortcomings, you will begin to believe that you are less than you truly are. But if you speak to yourself with kindness, with encouragement, and with the understanding that you are deserving of success, your self-esteem will rise. Your self-worth is built through the words you speak, and the more you affirm your value, the more you will see it reflected in your actions and in your life. When you speak words of love, you will begin to treat yourself with love. When you speak words of compassion, you will begin to show yourself compassion. The relationship you have with yourself is defined by the way you speak to yourself. And when you learn to speak to yourself with respect and encouragement, you will begin to see the positive changes in every area of your life. Many people fail to realize that the most important relationship they will ever have is the one they have with themselves. If you cannot love yourself, respect yourself, and speak kindly to yourself, it becomes impossible to build healthy relationships with others. Your self-talk must be filled with positivity, encouragement, and compassion, because this is how you build the foundation for your life. The way you speak to yourself sets the tone for everything else in your world. If you constantly criticize, doubt, and limit yourself, that is exactly what you will experience in your external world. But if you speak life, strength, and possibility to yourself, you will see your world transform. The power of self-talk is not just about words, it is about belief. What you speak to yourself reflects what you believe about yourself. If you want to change your life, you must first change the way you talk to yourself. Your words are the keys that will unlock your potential, your success, and your purpose. Speak words of power and watch as your life begins to align with the greatness that already lies within you. Your past does not define you. The experiences you have gone through, the mistakes you've made, the challenges you've faced, none of these determine who you are or what you can achieve. So often, people become imprisoned by their pasts, as though their history has written the script for their future. But this is not the truth. Your past is merely a chapter in your story, not the whole book. And while the past can offer lessons, it cannot set limits on the future unless you allow it to. Every day you wake up, you have the opportunity to start again, to rewrite the narrative of your life, and to embrace the future that is waiting for you. It is time to break free from the chains of your history. Your past may have been filled with pain, regret, or failure, but it does not have to continue to haunt you. It may have been filled with setbacks and disappointments, but that is not where your story ends. The key to overcoming the past is to shift your focus and understand that what happened yesterday has no power over today unless you give it power. Your present and future are yours to create. The first step in overcoming your past and current circumstances is understanding that you are not the sum of your experiences. You are more than the person you were yesterday. And you are not bound by the limitations that life may have tried to impose on you. When you look at your past, you must view it as a series of events, not as a reflection of your identity. These events happened, yes, but they are not who you are. There were opportunities for growth, moments where you were meant to learn, to stretch, and to become stronger. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is a springboard. Your past is a foundation upon which you are meant to build, not a cage that confines you. When you understand this, you begin to see your past through a different lens. You stop viewing it as a weight holding you back and begin seeing it as a stepping stone propelling you forward. It is natural to feel tied to the past, especially when it is filled with painful memories or unhealed wounds. But you cannot move forward by holding on to the baggage of what's behind you. Every time you revisit old regrets, resentments, or hurt, you keep reliving those moments. You are not giving your present or future the space to unfold. Letting go of the past is not about forgetting or dismissing the lessons it holds. It is about freeing yourself from the emotional grip it has on you. You have the power to choose what you carry with you from your past and what you leave behind. And you must choose to leave behind the stories that limit you, the identities you've adopted based on past failures, and the negative self-talk that your history has instilled in you. The key to overcoming your past is forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for the mistakes you've made, forgiving others for the wrongs they may have done to you, and forgiving the situation itself for not turning out the way you had hoped. Forgiveness is not about excusing the past, but rather releasing its power over your present. Holding on to grudges or guilt only robs you of your peace and keeps you chained to a time that no longer exists. When you forgive, you break free. You let go of the bitterness, the anger, and the resentment that are holding you back from stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. And the moment you release those things, you make space for healing, growth, and new opportunities to enter your life. It is crucial to recognize that your current circumstances, just like your past, are not permanent. No matter how challenging or overwhelming your situation may seem, it is temporary. The difficult seasons you face today do not have to dictate the rest of your life. Too many people get stuck in their current circumstances, believing that where they are now is where they will always be. They let the difficulties of today convince them that tomorrow will be no different. But that's simply not true. Circumstances change. Life is always in motion, and your current situation can shift at any moment. Your current circumstances are not the end of your story, they are just another chapter, and it is up to you to decide how the next chapter will unfold. So often we let our circumstances define us. We say things like, I'm stuck, I can't move forward, or this is just the way things are. But the truth is, you have the power to change your circumstances. Your circumstances are shaped by the choices you make, the mindset you adopt, and the actions you take. You are not a passive participant in your life. You are the author of your story. You have the ability to choose how you respond to life's challenges. And it is your response that will determine whether you remain stuck or move forward. In order to overcome your current circumstances, you must first change your perspective. You must stop viewing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities. Every difficulty you face is an opportunity for growth, a chance to learn and improve. So when you change your mindset, you begin to approach every challenge with a different energy. You no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstance, but as someone who has the ability to rise above, to overcome, and to conquer. It's also important to remember that change doesn't happen overnight. It is a process, and it requires patience, persistence, and discipline. There may be days when it feels like you're not making any progress, but that doesn't mean you aren't moving forward. Trust the process. Trust that every small step you take toward overcoming your past and changing your circumstances is getting you closer to the life you desire. Success is not always immediate, and growth often happens in unseen ways. But when you remain committed to the process, the results will come. Another key to overcoming your past and current circumstances is understanding that your thoughts shape your reality. Your thinking has the power to create the life you live. When you allow your past or present circumstances to dictate your thoughts, you are giving those circumstances control over your mind and your future. If you constantly think about how difficult life is or how unfair your situation is, you will continue to experience difficulty and frustration. But when you begin to shift your thinking, your reality begins to shift as well. Start by focusing on solutions, not problems. Shift your focus from what you don't have to what you do have. Shift your focus from your limitations to your strengths. When you change your thoughts, you change the energy you bring into the world. And that energy will begin to manifest in your life. The story you tell yourself about your past and present is incredibly powerful. If you continue to tell yourself the story that you are a failure, that you've made too many mistakes, or that your circumstances are beyond your control, you will continue to live out that story. But when you change the narrative, when you begin to tell yourself the story of resilience, of overcoming, and of triumph, you begin to write a new future. Your past and your circumstances no longer hold power over you. You hold the pen. The story is yours to write, and you can rewrite it at any time. One of the most important steps in overcoming your past and current circumstances is letting go of the idea of perfection. Many people struggle with their past and present because they feel that they are not where they should be, or that they have failed in some way. They compare their journey to the success of others and feel inadequate. But the truth is, there is no such thing as perfection. Life is a journey of growth, and growth is messy. There will be failures, mistakes, and setbacks along the way. But these are not signs of defeat. They are simply part of the process of becoming the person you are meant to be. Embrace the imperfections. Embrace the failures. Embrace the lessons. These things are not the end. They are the beginning of your transformation. It is also important to surround yourself with people who support your growth. The people you spend the most time with influence the way you think, the way you act, and the way you perceive your circumstances. If you are surrounded by negativity, doubt, and people who reinforce the limitations of your past, it will be much harder for you to overcome your challenges. But when you surround yourself with people who encourage you, who believe in your potential, and who see the best in you, you will find the strength to keep moving forward. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your mindset, so choose your relationships wisely. Remember that your purpose is greater than your past. Your current circumstances are not your destiny. There is a greater plan for your life, one that is not confined by your history or your current situation. You were created for greatness, and no amount of failure or difficulty can take that away from you. When you focus on your purpose and align your actions with it, you begin to move in the direction of your dreams. Your purpose will always pull you forward, even when your past and present try to hold you back. Your past and current circumstances are not a life sentence. They are not permanent. You have the power to break free, to change your story, and to rise above. It is time to stop allowing the weight of your history to dictate your future. It is time to take control, to forgive, to heal, and to move forward. You are not defined by what has happened to you. You are defined by what you choose to do next. And the next step you take can be one of greatness. You were born with unlimited potential. The very essence of your being is woven with possibilities that stretch beyond your imagination. The greatness that you seek, the success you desire, and the purpose that calls you are not somewhere out there, waiting for you to stumble upon them. They are already within you. The potential to create, to achieve, and to become is not something you need to find. It is something you must awaken. It's already embedded in your DNA, present in every fiber of your being. It is time to acknowledge this truth and start acting in alignment with the immense power that resides within you. When you look at your life, what do you see? Do you see yourself as limited by your circumstances, by your past, or by the expectations of others? Or do you see yourself as a unique creation, endowed with abilities, talents, and wisdom beyond what you can yet comprehend? The difference between those who live to their fullest potential and those who merely exist lies in their ability to recognize and tap into this unlimited power. Most people live their lives without ever realizing the vast potential they carry. They are distracted by the noise of the world, the doubts in their minds, and the limitations imposed upon them by their environment. But the truth is, your potential is not defined by your circumstances. It is not determined by your background, your education, or your upbringing. Your potential is limitless because it is a divine gift that exists beyond the boundaries of what the world can see or define. From the moment you were born, you were filled with infinite possibilities. The fact that you exist is a testament to this. Consider the magnitude of life itself, millions of years of evolution, the combination of countless genetic traits, the perfect timing of your birth, and the uniqueness of your life's journey. Every aspect of your being has been intricately designed for greatness. Yet many fail to realize the potential within them because they are caught up in self-doubt, insecurity, and the idea that they are somehow less than others. This is the greatest lie that you can believe. Your potential is not determined by comparison to anyone else. You do not need to measure your success by the standards of the world. Your true value is not determined by what you have achieved, but by what you are capable of achieving. It is the recognition of this inner potential that empowers you to take the necessary steps toward your greatness. One of the greatest tragedies in life is to see people living below their capacity. There are many who go through life without ever realizing their full potential. They live in fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of judgment. But fear is not the enemy, it is simply a sign that you are on the verge of something great. Fear arises when we are about to break through the boundaries we have set for ourselves. It shows us where we need to push further, to stretch beyond what we have always known. Fear is simply a signal to grow. The unlimited potential within you is only unlocked when you begin to face those fears, take risks, and push beyond your comfort zones. Understanding the concept of unlimited potential means recognizing that you are not restricted by external forces or your past mistakes. Your potential is not dependent on the approval of others or the circumstances around you. When you tap into your limitless power, you transcend the limitations of your environment. No matter where you come from, no matter what your experiences have been, you have the capacity to change the course of your life. Your past does not define you, it only serves as the foundation for your future. The choices you make today and the thoughts you entertain will shape your tomorrow. When you choose to believe in your unlimited potential, you start to see opportunities where others see obstacles and solutions where others see problems. The key to unlocking your potential lies in your mindset. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It is your internal compass guiding you through life, shaping your reality and determining your actions. But too many people allow their minds to be filled with negativity, fear, and doubt. They allow the voices of others, the judgments of society, and the opinions of the world to shape their perception of themselves. When you allow these outside forces to dictate your mindset, you are essentially handing over control of your life. But when you take control of your thoughts, when you choose to believe in your ability to achieve, you unlock the door to your unlimited potential. Your mind is a fertile ground, and the seeds you plant in it today will bear fruit tomorrow. If you constantly plant seeds of doubt, negativity, and limitation, your mind will produce the fruit of failure, fear, and defeat. But when you plant seeds of possibility, faith, and confidence, your mind will begin to manifest the life that reflects those beliefs. Your potential is unlocked when you choose to feed your mind with thoughts of greatness, when you decide to think beyond your current circumstances, and when you believe that you are capable of achieving far more than you ever thought possible. The unlimited potential within you is also connected to your purpose. Each person is born with a unique purpose and mission that only they can fulfill. Your potential is tied to the gifts, talents, and abilities that you have been given to carry out this purpose. When you align yourself with your purpose, you activate your full potential. This is why it is essential to understand your purpose and pursue it relentlessly. Your potential is directly connected to your ability to stay true to your calling, to listen to the inner voice that tells you what you are meant to do, and to take action based on that guidance. Purpose is the fuel that drives your potential. It gives you the energy, the focus, and the determination to push through obstacles and keep moving forward. When you are connected to your purpose, no challenge seems insurmountable, and no setback can derail you. Your purpose is the compass that points you toward your destiny, and when you trust in it, you tap into the unlimited potential that you carry within you. Another aspect of unlocking your potential is understanding that you are not alone in this journey. You were created to thrive in community, and the support of others can help you realize your fullest potential. To surround yourself with people who believe in you, who challenge you to grow, and who encourage you to reach for the highest version of yourself. The relationships you build can either enhance or hinder your potential. If you surround yourself with people who limit you, who criticize your dreams, and who discourage your growth, your potential will remain dormant. But when you align yourself with those who support your vision, who encourage you to pursue your goals, and who push you to become the best version of yourself, your potential is magnified. It's essential to remember that unlocking your potential does not require perfection. Too often, people hold themselves back from pursuing their dreams because they feel that they are not yet ready or that they are not good enough. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or the right set of circumstances. But the truth is, you will never feel completely ready. Growth happens through action, through trial and error, and through learning from your mistakes. Your potential is not about being perfect. It is about being willing to start, to try, and to continue moving forward, even in the face of challenges. The more you take action, the more you grow, and the more your potential is unlocked. Perfection is not the goal, progress is. There are many individuals who have accomplished incredible feats in life, not because they were more gifted than others, but because they refused to accept limitations. They understood that their potential was not bound by external circumstances, and they chose to take action regardless of the challenges they face. They believed in their ability to learn, grow, and adapt, and they never stopped pushing forward. The truth is, your potential is only limited by the boundaries you place on it. The moment you choose to believe that you can achieve anything, your potential expands beyond measure. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the belief that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. When you believe in your potential, you begin to operate from a place of strength, confidence, and possibility. Your mind, body, and spirit align with the vision you have for your life, and you begin to take inspired action toward your goals. This belief in your potential is what sets successful people apart from those who remain stuck. It is the internal conviction that drives them to take risks, to step into the unknown, and to keep going when others would quit. Your unlimited potential is waiting for you to acknowledge it. It is waiting for you to stop doubting yourself and start believing in your power. You do not need to wait for permission from anyone to step into your greatness. You have everything you need within you to achieve your dreams and create the life you desire. The first step is to believe that you are capable of achieving more than you have ever imagined. The second step is to take action, no matter how small, toward your goals. And the third step is to continue moving forward, even when the path gets tough. Your potential is limitless. It is time to unlock it, to embrace it, and to use it to create the life you were always meant to live. The greatest gift you have in life is the power to take control of your destiny. So many people wander through life as if they are victims of fate, waiting for opportunities to fall into their lap or for life's circumstances to suddenly change. They feel as though they have no control over what happens to them, as if the events of their lives are dictated by forces beyond their control. But the truth is, nothing could be further from reality. You hold the keys to your destiny in your hands, and the power to shape your future is within you right now. It is time for you to take control, to step into the driver's seat of your life, and to create the future that you desire. When we speak of destiny, we are not talking about some abstract or predetermined path that you are helpless to alter. Destiny is not a series of random events that happen to you because of luck or misfortune. No, destiny is the result of the choices you make, the actions you take, and the mindset you adopt. Your destiny is something that you actively create every day, whether you are aware of it or not. The power to shape your future is within your hands at every moment. And it is up to you to decide how you will respond to life's challenges, opportunities, and changes. The first step in taking control of your destiny is understanding that you are not a passive participant in your own life. You are an active creator. Every thought you think, every action you take, and every decision you make is contributing to the trajectory of your life. If you want to change your destiny, you must first change your thinking. The thoughts you entertain shape your perception of reality, and your perception drives your behavior. If you believe that you are stuck, that success is for other people, or that you have no control over your circumstances, you will continue to live a life that is dictated by these beliefs. But if you believe that you are capable of achieving greatness, that you can change your circumstances, and that you are the master of your fate, you will begin to act in alignment with those beliefs. And your reality will shift to reflect your newfound confidence. The mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It is the lens through which you view the world and interpret your experiences. When you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your life. This is why mindset is the foundation of everything. If you want to take control of your destiny, you must first take control of your mind. You must stop allowing negative thoughts, self-doubt, and fear to rule your thinking. You must replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones and begin to think in terms of possibility, opportunity, and growth. The second step in taking control of your destiny is to recognize that your current circumstances do not define you. Far too many people are trapped in the mindset that where they are right now is where they will always be. They look at their present situation, their job, their finances, their relationships, and believe that this is their lot in life. But nothing could be further from the truth. Your circumstances are not permanent. They are simply a reflection of the choices you have made up until this point. You may be facing challenges, you may be dealing with obstacles, but those obstacles are not insurmountable. Your current circumstances are not a life sentence, they are simply a chapter in your story. Every successful person has faced difficulties. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has had to overcome setbacks and adversity. The key to controlling your destiny is not to be discouraged by the challenges you face, but to learn how to use those challenges as stepping stones to greater success. Every obstacle you encounter is an opportunity for growth. Every difficulty is a chance to develop resilience, strength, and character. When you learn to view your circumstances as opportunities rather than limitations, you shift your mindset from one of defeat to one of empowerment. You begin to see the possibilities, the solutions, and the lessons that are hidden within every challenge. The third step in taking control of your destiny is to take responsibility for your life. This is where most people fail. They look for someone or something to blame for their current situation. They blame their upbringing, their lack of opportunities, their past mistakes, or the actions of others. But taking control of your destiny means taking full responsibility for where you are and where you are going. This does not mean that you are responsible for every circumstance that has happened to you, but it does mean that you are responsible for how you respond to those circumstances. It means that you are in charge of the choices you make from this moment forward. Taking responsibility for your life means acknowledging that you have the power to change your situation. It means realizing that you are not bound by your past, your failures, or the limitations imposed upon you by others. You have the power to decide what kind of life you want to create, and you have the ability to take action toward that vision. It is easy to make excuses, to blame others, or to wait for someone to save you. But the truth is, no one else is coming to fix your life. You are the one who must take control. You are the one who must take ownership of your choices, your actions, and your future. When you take responsibility for your destiny, you also take control of your energy. Every action you take sends out energy into the world. This energy attracts opportunities, people, and situations that align with your vibration. If you are constantly complaining, blaming others, or focusing on what you lack, you are sending out negative energy, which only attracts more of the same. But when you take responsibility, when you focus on solutions, when you act with purpose and positivity, you begin to radiate energy that attracts the right people, resources, and opportunities into your life. The fourth step in taking control of your destiny is to take decisive action. Many people have great dreams and aspirations, but they never take the necessary steps to bring those dreams to life. They wait for the perfect moment, for the right circumstances, or for someone to tell them exactly what to do. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. The time to act is now. You cannot wait for everything to align perfectly in order to begin. Success comes from consistent action, from taking steps toward your goals every single day, regardless of how small those steps may seem. When you take action, you send a powerful message to the universe that you are serious about your future. You show the world that you are ready to step into your greatness, and the universe responds by opening doors, presenting opportunities, and creating the circumstances you need to move forward. But action is not just about doing something, it is about doing the right things, consistently and with purpose. Taking control of your destiny means making intentional choices that align with your goals, your values, and your purpose. It means saying yes to the things that move you closer to your vision and saying no to the distractions that keep you stuck. The fifth step in taking control of your destiny is to persevere. The journey to greatness is not a straight path. There will be setbacks, there will be failures, and there will be moments when you question whether it is all worth it. But perseverance is the key to turning your dreams into reality. It is the ability to keep going when things get tough, to stay focused on your goals even when the road is difficult. Perseverance is what separates those who achieve their destiny from those who give up along the way. You will face adversity. You will face challenges. You will experience times when it feels like everything is working against you. But these moments are not signs that you should quit. They are signs that you are on the right path. Greatness is forged through adversity, and the ability to persevere is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. When you choose to keep going, even when the journey is hard, you unlock the full power of your destiny. The final step in taking control of your destiny is to live with purpose. Every action you take should be in alignment with your greater purpose in life. Your purpose is the reason you were born, the mission you are meant to fulfill, and the legacy you are meant to leave. When you live with purpose, every decision you make has meaning. Every step you take is one step closer to fulfilling your destiny. When you are connected to your purpose, you will find the strength to keep going, even when the road gets tough. Living with purpose means that you do not waste time on things that do not serve you. It means that you prioritize your goals, your dreams, and the impact you want to make in the world. It means saying no to distractions and saying yes to the things that truly matter. When you live with purpose, you take control of your destiny because you are clear about where you are going and why you are going there. Imagine waking up every morning, looking in the mirror, and seeing someone worthy of respect. Now, imagine stepping out into a world where that respect isn't always reflected back at you. It's a jarring experience, isn't it? One that can leave you feeling small, insignificant, and powerless. But what if I told you that you have the power to change that? What if I told you that you hold the key to commanding respect, even from those who seem determined to deny it to you? Hello and welcome to this transformative journey where we'll explore the 3 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you. I'm here to tell you that you're not alone in this struggle. In fact, at some point in our lives, we've all faced disrespect, whether it's from a colleague, a family member, or even a stranger on the street. It's a universal experience, but how we choose to respond to it. That's what sets us apart. Now, you might be wondering, who am I to talk about this? Well, I've been exactly where you are. I've felt the sting of disrespect, the burning frustration of being undervalued, and the gnawing self-doubt that follows. But I've also discovered the tools to rise above it, to reclaim my power, and to cultivate the respect I deserve. And today I'm here to share those tools with you. But before we dive in, I want you to take a moment. Close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do so. Take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs, expanding your chest. Now, as you exhale, release with it all the times you felt disrespected, all the moments you felt small. Let them go, because today we're turning the page. We're writing a new chapter in your story, one where you stand tall, where your worth is unquestionable, and where respect becomes your new normal. Are you ready? Because this isn't just about handling disrespect, it's about transforming your entire life. It's about stepping into your power, owning your worth, and creating a ripple effect that will change not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but is it really possible? And I'm here to tell you with every fiber of my being, yes. Yes, it is. I've seen it happen countless times, not just in my own life, but in the lives of thousands of people I've had the privilege to work with. People just like you who were tired of feeling disrespected, who were ready for a change, and who found the courage to take that first step. So what are these 3 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you? Well, I'm not going to give them away just yet. Because before we get to the how, we need to understand the why. We need to dig deep into the roots of disrespect to understand its origin, its impact, and why it has the power to affect us so deeply. I think about the last time someone disrespected you. Maybe it was a snide comment from a coworker or a dismissive gesture from a family member. How did it make you feel? Angry, hurt, perhaps even a little ashamed? These feelings are normal and they're powerful. They can shape our actions, our decisions, and even our self-perception. But here's the thing, they don't have to. You see, respect isn't just about how others treat us. It's about how we treat ourselves. It's about the standards we set, the boundaries we draw, and the value we place on our own worth. And that's where our journey begins. Throughout this talk, we're going to explore the psychology of respect, both giving and receiving it. We'll delve into the science behind human behavior, uncover the hidden patterns that drive disrespect, and most importantly, we'll learn how to break free from these patterns. But I want to be clear, this isn't about becoming confrontational or aggressive. It's not about fighting fire with fire. The methods we'll discuss are rooted in empathy, understanding, and self-empowerment. Because true respect isn't demanded, it's earned. And not through force or intimidation, but through the quiet strength of self-assurance and genuine connection. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, but you don't know my situation. You don't know how difficult the people in my life are. And you're right, I don't know your specific circumstances. But what I do know is this: regardless of your situation, you have more power than you realize. You have the ability to change the dynamic, to shift the energy, and to cultivate respect even in the most challenging environments. As we embark on this journey together, I want you to keep an open mind. Some of the concepts we'll discuss might challenge your existing beliefs. They might push you out of your comfort zone. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's necessary. Because growth doesn't happen in comfort. Transformation doesn't occur when we stay in our safe, familiar patterns. It happens when we dare to think differently, to act differently, to be different. So, are you ready to take that leap? Are you ready to discover the 3 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you? Are you ready to transform not just how others see you, but how you see yourself? Before we dive into the first method, I want to share a personal story with you. A story that illustrates just how transformative these techniques can be. A few years ago, I found myself in a toxic work environment. My ideas were constantly dismissed, my contributions overlooked, and my presence often ignored. It was soul crushing. I'd go home every day feeling drained, defeated, and frankly disrespected. I tried everything I thought I was supposed to do. I worked harder, stayed later, went above and beyond on every project. But nothing changed. The disrespect continued, and my self-esteem plummeted. I started to question my own worth, my own abilities. I was at a breaking point. And then something shifted. Not in my external circumstances, but within me. I realized that I had been looking for respect in all the wrong places. I had been seeking validation from others, when what I really needed was to validate myself. That realization was the first step on a journey that completely transformed my life. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That's easier said than done, and you're right. It's not easy. But it is simple. And that's what we're going to explore today. Simple, powerful techniques that you can start implementing right now to change how you're treated and how you feel about yourself. So, let's dive into the first of our 3 ways to handle people who don't respect you. Are you ready? Here it is: cultivate unshakable self-respect. Now, I can almost hear the collective sigh: self-respect. That's your big secret, but bear with me, because this isn't just about feeling good about yourself. This is about fundamentally changing the energy you project into the world. You see, respect is like a mirror. The respect we receive from others is often a reflection of the respect we have for ourselves. When we truly, deeply respect ourselves, it changes how we carry ourselves, how we speak, how we interact with the world. And the world, in turn, responds differently to us. But here's the catch: this kind of self-respect can't be faked. It's not about putting on a brave face or pretending to be confident. It's about doing the deep internal work to truly value yourself, independent of external validation. So how do we cultivate this unshakable self-respect? It starts with self-awareness. We need to become conscious of our self-talk, of the stories we tell ourselves. How often do you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I don't deserve better"? These thoughts, often operating below our conscious awareness, shape our reality more than we realize. The first step is to become aware of these thoughts. Notice them when they arise. Don't judge them. Don't try to push them away. Just observe them. This act of observation is powerful in itself. It creates a space between you and your thoughts, allowing you to see that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Once you've developed this awareness, the next step is to challenge these negative self-perceptions. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, ask yourself, is that really true? Where's the evidence for that? Often you'll find that these beliefs are based on old experiences, on other people's opinions, on societal expectations, not on your true worth. Replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of, I'm not good enough, try, I am constantly growing and improving. Instead of, I don't deserve better, affirm, I deserve respect and kindness. Now, I know what you're thinking. Positive affirmations? Really, but hear me out. The power of these affirmations isn't in the words themselves. It's in the shift they create in your mindset, in your energy, in how you carry yourself in the world. When you truly believe in your own worth, it shows. It shows in how you stand, in the tone of your voice, in the boundaries you set. And people respond to that. They may not even know why, but they'll start treating you differently. But self-respect isn't just about positive thinking. It's also about action. It's about making choices that honor your worth. This might mean saying no to things that don't serve you. It might mean speaking up when you disagree, even if it's uncomfortable. It might mean walking away from relationships or situations that consistently undermine your self-worth. These actions aren't always easy. In fact, they can be downright terrifying at first. But each time you honor yourself in this way, you're sending a powerful message to yourself and to the world that you are worthy of respect. Now, let's talk about a crucial aspect of self-respect that often gets overlooked: self-care. And I'm not just talking about bubble baths and face masks, although those can be wonderful. I'm talking about truly taking care of yourself on all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Physical self-care is about treating your body with respect. This means nourishing it with healthy food, moving it in ways that feel good, giving it the rest it needs. When you take care of your physical health, you're sending a message to yourself and the world that you value yourself. Emotional self-care involves allowing yourself to feel your feelings without judgment. It's about developing emotional intelligence, learning to navigate your emotions in a healthy way. This might involve practices like journaling, meditation, or seeking therapy. Mental self-care is about stimulating your mind, challenging yourself to grow and learn. This could mean reading books, taking courses, engaging in stimulating conversations. When you invest in your mental growth, you're building your self-confidence and expanding your perspective. Spiritual self-care doesn't necessarily mean religion, unless that resonates with you. It's about connecting with something larger than yourself, finding meaning and purpose in your life. This could involve practices like meditation, spending time in nature, or engaging in activities that bring you a sense of peace and connection. When you prioritize self-care in these areas, you're demonstrating to yourself that you are worthy of care and attention. And this, in turn, raises your self-respect. But here's where many people get stuck. They think, I'll start respecting myself when others start respecting me, but that's backwards. The truth is, others will start respecting you when you start respecting yourself. Think about it this way. Have you ever been around someone who exudes self-respect? Someone who carries themselves with quiet confidence, who speaks their truth without apology, who sets clear boundaries. How did you feel around that person? Chances are you felt a natural inclination to treat them with respect. That's the power of self-respect. It creates a field around you, an energy that others can feel. And they respond to it, often without even realizing why. Now, I want to address something important here. Cultivating self-respect doesn't mean becoming arrogant or self-centered. In fact, true self-respect often leads to greater empathy and compassion for others. When you truly value yourself, you don't need to put others down to feel good. You can appreciate others' worth without it threatening your own. So how do we put this into practice? How do we start cultivating this unshakable self-respect today? Here are some practical steps you can take. First, start your day with intention. Before you even get out of bed, set an intention for how you want to treat yourself that day. Maybe it's, today I choose to speak kindly to myself, or today I will honor my boundaries. Setting this intention primes your mind to look for opportunities to respect yourself throughout the day. Next, practice self-compassion. We often treat ourselves far more harshly than we would treat a friend. When you make a mistake or face a setback, instead of berating yourself, try speaking to yourself as you would to a loved one. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. What can I learn from this? Another powerful practice is to keep a self-respect journal. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you did that day to honor your worth. Maybe you spoke up in a meeting, or you took some time for self-care, or you said no to something that didn't feel right. Acknowledging these actions reinforces the habit of self-respect. Now, let's talk about boundaries. Setting and maintaining healthy boundaries is a crucial part of self-respect. But for many of us, it's also one of the most challenging. We worry that setting boundaries will make us seem selfish or unkind. But the truth is, clear boundaries are a sign of self-respect and actually improve our relationships with others. Start small. Practice saying no to small things that don't align with your values or priorities. Pay attention to how it feels. You might notice some discomfort at first, but also a sense of empowerment. As you get more comfortable, you can start setting bigger boundaries. Remember, you're not responsible for other people's reactions to your boundaries. Some people, especially those who are used to overstepping, might push back. That's okay. Stand firm, knowing that you're honoring yourself. Another powerful way to cultivate self-respect is to keep your promises to yourself. How often do we make commitments to ourselves to exercise, to eat healthier, to start that project only to break them? Each time we do this, we're eroding our self-trust. Start making small promises to yourself and keeping them. This builds self-trust and self-respect. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when we talk about self-respect. Many of us have a deep-seated belief that we need to earn respect, that we need to achieve certain things or be a certain way to be worthy of respect. But here's the truth: your worth is innate. You are worthy of respect simply because you exist. This doesn't mean you stop striving for growth or achievement, but it means that your sense of self-worth isn't dependent on those things. You can appreciate your accomplishments without tying your value to them. One way to reinforce this is to practice unconditional self-acceptance. This means accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. It doesn't mean you don't work on improving yourself, but it means you don't withhold self-respect until you've reached some arbitrary standard of perfection. Try this exercise. Look in the mirror each morning and say, I accept myself fully, and completely notice any resistance that comes up. Don't judge it, just observe it. Over time, you may find this acceptance becomes easier and more natural. Now, let's talk about how this self-respect translates into our interactions with others, especially those who don't respect us. When you have a strong foundation of self-respect, you're less likely to be rattled by others' disrespect. You recognize that their behavior says more about them than it does about you. This doesn't mean you become immune to hurt feelings, but it does mean you're better equipped to handle them. Instead of internalizing others' disrespect, you can see it for what it is: a reflection of their own issues and insecurities. From this place of self-respect, you can choose how to respond. Maybe you calmly call out the disrespectful behavior. Maybe you choose to disengage. Maybe you respond with kindness, recognizing that hurt people often hurt people. The key is that you're responding from a place of self-assurance, not reacting from a place of insecurity. As you cultivate this self-respect, you may notice changes in your relationships. Some people might be drawn to your new energy. Others might be uncomfortable with it, especially if they're used to treating you with disrespect. This is normal. As you change, your relationships will change too. Remember, you're not responsible for making others comfortable with your growth. Your responsibility is to honor your own worth. As you do this, you'll naturally attract relationships that reflect your self-respect. Now, I want to share a powerful visualization exercise that can help reinforce this sense of self-respect. Close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do so. Imagine yourself surrounded by a bubble of golden light. This light represents your self-respect. It's warm, comforting, and protective. Imagine this light growing stronger and brighter with each breath you take. Now, imagine someone approaching you with disrespect. see their words or actions bouncing off your bubble of self-respect. They can't penetrate it. You remain centered, grounded in your worth. Take a moment to really feel this. This is the power of unshakable self-respect. Open your eyes. How did that feel? Remember, you can return to this visualization anytime you need a reminder of your innate worth. As we wrap up this first method, I want to emphasize that cultivating self-respect is an ongoing process. It's not something you achieve once and then you're done. It's a practice, something you commit to every day. There will be days when it feels easy and days when it's a struggle. That's okay. The key is to keep showing up for yourself, to keep choosing self-respect, even when it's challenging. And here's something beautiful: as you cultivate this self-respect, you'll find that it naturally extends to others. When you truly respect yourself, you're more likely to treat others with respect too. You create a ripple effect of respect that can transform your relationships and your world. So are you ready to commit to cultivating unshakable self-respect? Are you ready to honor your worth, set clear boundaries, and create a life that reflects your true value? Remember, this is the foundation. This is where it all begins. Now, let's move on to our second method for handling people who don't respect you. This method is all about mastering the art of assertive communication. Communication is the bridge between our inner world and the outer world. It's how we express our thoughts, feelings, and needs. And when it comes to commanding respect, how we communicate is crucial. Many of us fall into one of two extremes when faced with disrespect. We either become passive, swallowing our feelings and allowing the disrespect to continue, or we become aggressive, lashing out in anger. But there's a middle ground, a powerful alternative: assertiveness. Assertive communication is about expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs clearly and respectfully, while also respecting the rights of others. It's about standing up for yourself without putting others down. And it's a skill that can dramatically change how others treat you. So how do we become more assertive? It starts with clarity. Before you can communicate assertively, you need to be clear about what you think, feel, and need. This goes back to our first method, cultivating self-respect. When you respect yourself, you're more in tune with your own thoughts and feelings, and you're more likely to believe that they're worth expressing. Once you're clear on what you want to communicate, the next step is to express it using I statements. Instead of saying, "You're always disrespecting me," which puts the other person on the defensive, try something like, "I feel disrespected when you interrupt me in meetings." This puts the focus on your experience rather than attacking the other person. Another key aspect of assertive communication is being specific. Vague complaints are easy to dismiss, but when you can point to specific behaviors and their impact on you, it's harder for others to ignore or deny. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you might say, "When I'm speaking and you look at your phone, I feel like my words aren't important to you. I'd appreciate it if you could give me your full attention when we're having important conversations." Notice how this statement clearly describes the behavior, expresses how it makes you feel, and suggests a solution. This is the structure of effective assertive communication. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what if I speak up and they still don't listen? What if they get angry or defensive? These are valid concerns. Assertive communication doesn't guarantee that others will respond positively, but it does increase the likelihood of being heard and respected. Remember, you're not responsible for other people's reactions. Your responsibility is to express yourself clearly and respectfully. How they respond is up to them. That said, there are ways to increase the chances of a positive response. One powerful technique is to use empathy. Before expressing your own needs, try to understand and acknowledge the other person's perspective. For example, you might say something like, "I understand that you're under a lot of pressure at work, and that might be why you've been short with me lately. I want to support you, but I also need to let you know that when you speak to me in that tone, it makes me feel disrespected." This approach shows that you're not just focused on your own needs, but that you're trying to understand theirs as well. It creates a collaborative atmosphere rather than an adversarial one. Another important aspect of assertive communication is nonverbal cues.
Your body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions all play a role in how your message is received. When communicating assertively, aim for a calm, confident posture. Make eye contact. Speak in a clear, steady voice. These nonverbal cues reinforce your words and convey self-respect. Now, let's talk about timing. Assertive communication isn't just about what you say, but when you say it. If someone is clearly angry or upset, it might not be the best time to assert your needs. Similarly, if you're feeling overwhelmed with emotion, it might be better to take some time to calm down before initiating a conversation. Choose a time when both you and the other person are calm and have the mental space to engage in a meaningful conversation. If necessary, you can say something like, "I'd like to talk about something important. Is now a good time, or should we schedule a time to discuss it?" Another key aspect of assertive communication is active listening. It might seem counterintuitive, but being a good listener actually makes you a more effective communicator. When you truly listen to others, you gain a better understanding of their perspective, which can help you communicate your own needs more effectively. Active listening involves giving the other person your full attention, acknowledging what they're saying even if you disagree, and asking clarifying questions. This shows respect for the other person and encourages them to extend the same courtesy to you. Now, let's address a common fear that comes up when we talk about assertive communication, the fear of conflict. Many of us avoid asserting ourselves because we're afraid it will lead to confrontation. But here's the thing, assertiveness actually helps prevent conflict in the long run. When you communicate assertively, you're addressing issues as they arise, before they have a chance to build up and explode. You're also modeling respectful communication, which can encourage others to do the same. That said, it's important to be prepared for the possibility that asserting yourself might lead to some initial discomfort or resistance, especially if people aren't used to you standing up for yourself. This is where your foundation of self-respect comes in. Remember, you have the right to express your thoughts and feelings, even if others don't like it. Let's practice some assertive responses to common disrespectful behaviors. Imagine someone constantly interrupts you when you're speaking. An assertive response might be, "I wasn't finished speaking. I'd appreciate it if you'd let me complete my thought before responding." Or perhaps someone makes a dismissive comment about your idea in a meeting. You might say, "I put a lot of thought into that proposal. I'd like to hear your specific concerns so we can discuss them constructively." These responses are clear, respectful, and focused on the behavior rather than attacking the person. They set a boundary while also leaving room for dialogue. Now, I want to address something important: assertiveness in different cultural contexts. In some cultures, direct communication might be seen as rude or confrontational. If this is the case in your cultural context, you might need to adapt your assertive communication style. This doesn't mean you can't be assertive. It just means you might need to find culturally appropriate ways to express your needs. This might involve using more indirect language or finding ways to save face for both parties. For example, instead of saying, "I disagree," you might say, "I see your point, and I wonder if we might also consider the key is to find a balance between respecting cultural norms and honoring your own needs." As you practice assertive communication, you'll likely encounter challenging situations. One common scenario is dealing with someone who tries to intimidate or bully you. In these situations, it's important to stay calm and composed, even if you don't feel that way inside. A technique you can use is called the broken record method. This involves calmly repeating your position without getting drawn into an argument. For example, if someone is pressuring you to do something you're not comfortable with, you might say, "I understand you want me to do this, but I'm not comfortable with it." If they persist, you simply repeat, "I understand, but I'm not comfortable with it." This technique can be powerful because it shows that you're not going to be swayed by pressure or manipulation. It reinforces your boundary without escalating the situation. Another challenging scenario is when someone dismisses or invalidates your feelings. In these situations, it's important to stand firm in your right to have and express your emotions. You might say something like, "I understand you see it differently, but these are my feelings and they're valid to me. I'm not asking you to agree. just to respect that this is how I feel. Remember, no one has the right to tell you how you should or shouldn't feel. Your emotions are your own, and you have the right to express them. Now, let's talk about a powerful tool in assertive communication, the art of saying no. Many of us struggle with this, especially if we've been conditioned to be people pleasers. But being able to say no is crucial for maintaining healthy boundaries and commanding respect. When saying no, it's important to be clear and firm without feeling the need to over-explain or apologize. A simple no that doesn't work for me is often enough. If you want to soften it, you can add, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'm not able to do that. Remember, every time you say yes to something you don't really want to do, you're saying no to something else, often your own needs and priorities. Saying no when necessary is an act of self-respect. As you practice assertive communication, you might find that some relationships in your life begin to change. People who are used to you being passive might be surprised or even upset when you start standing up for yourself. This is normal and doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. In fact, it's a sign that you're growing. Some relationships might go through an adjustment period as people get used to the new, more assertive you. Others might naturally fall away if they were based on an imbalance of respect. This process can be challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. As you become more assertive, you'll likely find that your relationships become more authentic and satisfying. You'll attract people who respect you and value your voice. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when we talk about assertiveness, the fear of being seen as aggressive. It's important to understand the difference between assertiveness and aggression. Assertiveness is about standing up for your own rights while respecting the rights of others. Aggression, on the other hand, involves standing up for your rights in a way that violates the rights of others. For example, let's say someone cuts in front of you in line. An aggressive response might be to yell at them or push them out of the way. An assertive response would be to calmly say, "Excuse me, but I was next in line. The end of the line is back there." The assertive response stands up for your rights without attacking or disrespecting the other person. It's firm, but not hostile. As you practice assertive communication, you might find that it feels unnatural at first, especially if you're used to being passive. That's okay. Like any skill, assertiveness takes practice. Be patient with yourself as you learn and grow. One way to build your assertiveness skills is to start small. Practice in low-stakes situations first. For example, you might practice sending back a meal at a restaurant if it's not what you ordered, or asking a store clerk for help finding an item. As you become more comfortable, you can gradually work up to more challenging situations. Each time you communicate assertively, you're building your confidence and reinforcing your self-respect. Remember, assertiveness is not about winning or getting your way all the time. It's about expressing yourself clearly and respectfully, and being willing to negotiate and find mutually satisfactory solutions. Sometimes, even when you communicate assertively, the other person might not respond positively. They might continue to be disrespectful or dismissive. In these cases, you might need to set stronger boundaries or even consider limiting your interaction with that person if possible. The key is to remember that their response is not a reflection of your worth. You've done your part by communicating clearly and respectfully. How they choose to respond is their responsibility, not yours. As we wrap up this second method, I want to emphasize that becoming assertive is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you communicate perfectly assertively, and times when you fall back into old patterns. That's okay. The important thing is to keep practicing, keep learning, and keep honoring your own worth. Assertive communication, combined with the unshakable self-respect we discussed earlier, creates a powerful foundation for commanding respect from others. When you respect yourself and communicate that respect clearly, you set the standard for how others should treat you. Now, let's move on to our third and final method for handling people who don't respect you. This method is about creating a positive environment that naturally cultivates respect. You might be wondering, how can I create a positive environment when I'm dealing with disrespectful people? It's a great question. And the answer lies in understanding the ripple effect of our own actions and attitudes. You see, respect, like many things in life, often operates on a principle of reciprocity. When we consistently demonstrate respect for ourselves and for others, we create an environment where respect becomes the norm. This doesn't mean that everyone will immediately start treating you with respect. But it does mean that you're setting a powerful example and creating conditions where respect is more likely to flourish. So how do we go about creating this positive, respect-fostering environment? It starts with mindset. Instead of focusing on the disrespect you're receiving, shift your focus to the respect you want to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see, as the saying goes. This might sound idealistic, but it's actually a very practical approach. When we approach our interactions with an attitude of respect, we're more likely to elicit respectful behavior from others. It's not about ignoring disrespect when it occurs, but about creating a baseline of respect in your interactions. One powerful way to do this is through the practice of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. When we approach situations with empathy, we're better able to understand why someone might be acting disrespectfully, and we're more equipped to respond in a way that can potentially transform the interaction. For example, let's say you have a coworker who consistently talks over you in meetings. Instead of immediately labeling them as disrespectful, try to empathize. Maybe they're insecure about their ideas and feel they need to assert themselves strongly to be heard. Maybe they come from a family or cultural background where interrupting is more acceptable. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but understanding it can help you respond more effectively. You might approach them privately and say something like, "I've noticed that you often have a lot to contribute in meetings. I value your input, and I also want to make sure everyone has a chance to share their ideas. Could we work together to find a way to make sure all voices are heard?" This approach acknowledges their contributions while also asserting your need to be heard. It invites collaboration rather than confrontation. And importantly, it models the respect you want to see. Another key aspect of creating a positive environment is practicing gratitude. When we focus on what we're grateful for, it shifts our entire perspective. Instead of dwelling on the disrespect we've experienced, we start noticing the moments of respect and kindness in our lives. Try this at the end of each day. Write down 3 instances where you experienced or witnessed respect. They don't have to be big things. Maybe someone held the door for you, or a colleague complimented your work, or you witnessed a kind interaction between strangers. The more you look for these moments, the more you'll notice them. This practice does 2 things. First, it helps rewire your brain to notice positive interactions, which can help counterbalance the negative effects of disrespect. Second, it reminds you that respect does exist in the world, which can be encouraging when you're dealing with disrespectful behavior. Now, let's talk about the power of setting a positive example. When you consistently treat others with respect, even when they're not extending the same courtesy to you, you're demonstrating what respectful behavior looks like. This can be particularly powerful in environments where disrespect has become the norm. For instance, if you're in a workplace where gossip and backbiting are common, you might choose not to participate. Instead, you could make a point of speaking positively about others, giving credit where it's due, and addressing conflicts directly and respectfully. Over time, this behavior can influence the culture of your workplace. Remember, you're not responsible for changing other people's behavior. But by consistently modeling respect, you create an environment where respect is more likely to thrive. Another important aspect of creating a positive environment is setting and maintaining clear boundaries. We talked about this in relation to assertive communication, but it's worth emphasizing here. Clear boundaries are a form of self-respect, and they also show others how you expect to be treated. When you consistently enforce your boundaries firmly but respectfully, you're teaching people how to interact with you. You're creating an environment where your needs and feelings are taken into account.
There is a profound truth in the wisdom of Solomon when he declared in Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This is not just a call to protect your emotions, but a divine instruction to safeguard the core of your being, your thoughts, your dreams, your vulnerabilities today. I want to speak to you about the importance of discretion and the power of mystery in your life.
In this world, there is a growing pressure to be transparent, to share every detail of our lives with the world. Social media, conversations, even our day-to-day interactions urge us to reveal more than we should. But I tell you, not everything about you is for public consumption. There are aspects of your life that must remain hidden, guarded like precious jewels. You see, when you expose too much of yourself, you give others the power to define you, to manipulate you, to weaken you. Jesus, the Son of God, was a man of discretion. He knew when to speak and when to be silent. He revealed his heart to a select few, those who had proven themselves trustworthy even among his disciples. There were secrets he kept to himself, because he understood the value of guarding the treasures within him. Why is this important? Because there are people in your life who are not for you. They are against you. They may smile in your face, but their hearts are filled with envy, jealousy, and ill intentions. If you lay your life bare before them, they will use that information to undermine you, to sabotage your destiny. The enemy is always looking for a way to infiltrate your life, and he often uses the very people closest to you. The Bible says in Matthew 7:6, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. Your dreams, your visions, your struggles, they are your pearls." Not everyone has the capacity to appreciate them. Not everyone deserves to know the intimate details of your journey. Discretion is not about being secretive or mistrustful. It is about wisdom. It is about understanding that your life is a gift from God, and that gift must be protected. Be discerning about who you let into your inner circle. Test the spirits, as the Apostle John instructed, to see if they are from God. Not everyone who comes into your life is sent by God. Some are sent to derail you from your divine purpose. So how do we guard our hearts? First, we must seek the guidance of the Holy Spirit in all our relationships. He will show us who is for us and who is against us. Second, we must learn the art of silence. There is power in what you don't say. Jesus taught us that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. And finally, we must cultivate a deep relationship with God so that our identity is rooted in him, not in the opinions or knowledge of others. Brothers and sisters, your life is too valuable to be laid bare before the world. Protect it, cherish it. Let God be your refuge and your fortress in him. You are safe in him. You are secure. When we speak about guarding your heart, we are not merely talking about protecting your emotions from hurt or pain. This concept goes much deeper. It is about safeguarding the very essence of who you are, your thoughts, your dreams, your desires, and your vulnerabilities. Your heart, in a biblical sense, represents the core of your being. The place where your true self resides. It is the wellspring from which all of your actions, decisions, and life flows. In a world that constantly pushes us to share, to be open, and to put everything on display, guarding your heart means exercising wisdom in what you reveal and to whom you reveal it. It's understanding that not every part of your life is for public consumption. Some things are sacred, meant to be kept between you and God, or shared only with those who have proven themselves trustworthy. You see, when you allow too many people into the intimate places of your heart, you risk giving away the keys to your inner sanctum. Not everyone who comes into your life has your best interest at heart. Some may seem supportive, but deep down they may harbor jealousy, envy, or ill intentions. If you expose too much, you may inadvertently arm these individuals with the very tools they need to undermine you. The Bible admonishes us in Proverbs 4:23 to, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This means that your heart is the source of your life's direction, the driver of your destiny. If you do not protect it, if you allow it to be influenced, manipulated, or hurt by the wrong people, the course of your life can be altered in ways that God never intended. Guarding your heart also means being discerning about who you allow into your inner circle. Not everyone deserves to know your dreams, your struggles, or your plans. Jesus himself modeled this when he chose his 12 disciples. Even within that group, he had an inner circle, Peter, James, and John, who were privy to more intimate moments of his life and ministry, yet there were still things he kept to himself because he understood the importance of discretion. In practical terms, guarding your heart involves setting boundaries. It means knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to share and when to hold back. It's about being wise with your words, recognizing that once you've spoken, you can never take them back. It's about surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, who align with your values, and who have your best interests at heart. Finally, to guard your heart effectively, you must anchor your identity in God when your sense of self is rooted in who God says you are. Rather than in the opinions or approval of others, you become less vulnerable to the influence of those who do not have your best interest at heart. You can stand firm in your purpose, knowing that your life is secure in the hands of the one who created you. So remember, guarding your heart is not about being closed off or mistrustful. It's about being wise, discerning, and intentional about what you allow into your life and who you allow to know the real you. Your heart is too valuable to be left unprotected. Guard it with all diligence, and you will preserve the path that God has set before you. The value of discretion cannot be overstated, especially in a world where openness and transparency are often seen as virtues. While there is certainly a place for honesty and vulnerability, discretion is the guiding principle that helps us navigate when, where, and with whom to share the details of our lives. Discretion is about exercising careful judgment in what you reveal, understanding that not every truth needs to be spoken and not every detail needs to be shared. Discretion begins with the recognition that your life is a treasure, and like any treasure, it must be protected. Not everyone you encounter has earned the right to know the intimate details of your journey. Some people may appear well-meaning on the surface, but their intentions may not align with your best interests. Others may simply lack the capacity to handle the weight of your experiences or the significance of your dreams. Discretion allows you to shield your most precious thoughts and plans from those who might misuse or misunderstand them. Jesus, our ultimate example, embodied the value of discretion throughout his ministry. He was a master of timing, knowing when to reveal truths and when to withhold them. Consider his interactions with his disciples. He often spoke in parables, revealing deeper meanings only to those who were truly ready to receive them. Even among his closest followers, Jesus chose to disclose certain revelations to a select few, demonstrating that not all information is meant for all people at all times. Discretion is closely tied to wisdom. It requires discernment, the ability to assess a situation and understand the potential consequences of sharing certain information. Just as you wouldn't give away your financial assets without careful consideration, you shouldn't distribute your emotional or spiritual assets, your thoughts, plans, and dreams without discretion. When you exercise discretion, you are essentially stewarding the gifts and insights God has given you. Furthermore, discretion protects you from unnecessary vulnerability in a culture that often celebrates oversharing. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that full transparency is synonymous with authenticity. However, true authenticity doesn't require you to lay your soul bare before everyone you meet. Instead, it allows you to be genuine and real while also being selective about what you reveal and to whom. Discretion helps you avoid the pitfalls of oversharing, which can lead to exploitation, misunderstanding, and even betrayal. Another aspect of discretion is the preservation of relationships. When you practice discretion, you avoid placing unnecessary burdens on others or creating awkward situations. Not everyone is equipped to handle your struggles or your successes. By exercising discretion, you maintain healthy boundaries in your relationships, ensuring that you only share what is appropriate and beneficial in each context. Discretion also allows you to maintain an element of mystery and dignity. There is power in what is left unsaid. When you choose to hold back certain details, you create an aura of respect and intrigue. People are drawn to those who don't reveal everything about themselves because there is a sense of depth and substance that comes with discretion. It's not about being secretive. It's about understanding that some aspects of your life are sacred and should be treated as such. Finally, the value of discretion lies in its ability to preserve your focus and energy. When you are careful about what you share, you avoid unnecessary distractions and protect your mental and emotional resources. You are not constantly defending or explaining yourself to others because you have chosen to keep certain things private. This allows you to stay focused on your God-given purpose without the interference of external opinions or judgments. In conclusion, discretion is a powerful tool that enables you to navigate life with wisdom and grace. It helps you protect your heart, maintain healthy relationships, and preserve your focus on what truly matters. By valuing discretion, you honor the sacredness of your life and ensure that the treasures God has entrusted to you are handled with the care they deserve. Remember, not everything about you is meant to be known by everyone. Cherish the value of discretion, and you will walk in greater peace, security, and purpose. The power of mystery is a profound principle that holds significant value in both our personal and spiritual lives. In a world that often glorifies openness and complete transparency, we must not overlook the profound impact that mystery can have on our relationships, our influence, and our personal growth. There is an undeniable power in what is left unsaid, in the things we choose to keep hidden, and in the aura of mystery that surrounds those who exercise restraint in revealing too much about themselves. Mystery at its core is about understanding that not everything needs to be explained or disclosed. It's about recognizing that there is value in holding back, in allowing certain aspects of your life, your thoughts, and your dreams to remain concealed. This isn't about deception, rather. It's about strategically choosing what to share and what to keep to yourself, knowing that mystery can evoke respect, curiosity, and admiration. Mystery has the power to maintain an element of intrigue and respect in your relationships. When you refrain from sharing every detail of your life, you create a sense of depth and substance. People are naturally drawn to those who don't reveal everything about themselves because it suggests that there is more to discover, more layers to unfold. This intrigue can foster stronger connections as others seek to understand and appreciate the complexities of who you are. It also ensures that your words and actions carry more weight, as people recognize that when you do choose to speak or reveal something, it is significant. Furthermore, the power of mystery protects your personal space and boundaries in an age where oversharing has become the norm. Maintaining an air of mystery allows you to safeguard your privacy and control the narrative of your life. Not everyone needs to know your every thought, plan, or struggle. By keeping certain things to yourself, you preserve your inner world, which is essential for your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Mystery creates a buffer that shields you from unnecessary scrutiny, judgment, and interference from others. Mystery also plays a crucial role in maintaining your authority and influence. When you practice the power of mystery, you prevent others from taking you for granted. The less people know about you, the less they can predict or manipulate your actions. This unpredictability can be a strategic advantage, whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or spiritual leadership. It keeps others on their toes, ensuring that they approach you with the respect and consideration you deserve. Your words and actions carry more impact when they are not diluted by overexposure. Another aspect of the power of mystery is its ability to encourage growth and self-discovery. When you choose not to reveal everything, you give yourself the space to explore, evolve, and refine your thoughts and ideas without external pressure. This allows you to develop your character, your talents, and your relationship with God in a more authentic and unpressured way. You can pursue your goals and dreams without the weight of others' expectations or opinions, leading to a more genuine and fulfilling journey. Finally, the power of mystery reflects the nature of God himself. The Bible tells us that the secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the things revealed belong to us and to our children forever, Deuteronomy 29:29. God, in his infinite wisdom, has chosen to keep certain things hidden from us, revealing them only in his perfect timing. This divine mystery draws us closer to him as we seek to understand his will and his ways. In the same way, when we embrace the power of mystery in our lives, we reflect the image of God, acknowledging that some things are meant to be kept sacred, known only to him. In conclusion, the power of mystery is a valuable tool that enhances your relationships, protects your personal boundaries, and preserves your influence and authority. It allows you to navigate life with wisdom and grace, drawing others to you while maintaining your inner sanctity. By embracing mystery, you create an environment where respect, curiosity, and deep connection can flourish. Remember, not everything about you needs to be revealed. There is power in what is left unsaid, in the mystery that surrounds you, and in the depth that others will be inspired to explore. In every journey of life, whether personal, professional, or spiritual, there is a reality we must all face. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend, and not everyone who listens to your dreams is for you. This is why it is crucial to be vigilant and discerning about the people you allow into the intimate spaces of your life. Beware of enemies is not just a cautionary phrase, but a strategic approach to safeguarding your destiny and the purpose that God has placed within you. The Bible is filled with examples of individuals who faced enemies, often disguised as friends or allies. Consider the story of Joseph, a man with a divine dream, a vision that set him apart, yet it was his own brothers, those closest to him, who plotted against him. They were envious of his dream and conspired to destroy him. because they couldn't handle the greatness that God had placed within him. This story teaches us a vital lesson. Your enemies are not always strangers. They can be those within your circle, those who have access to your thoughts and plans. In today's world, your enemies may not always manifest with overt hostility. Sometimes they come in the form of those who pretend to support you, who feign interest in your success, all the while harboring jealousy, envy, or ill intentions. These are the people who might smile in your face but secretly hope for your downfall. They may seem friendly, but their hearts are filled with malice. If you are not careful, these individuals can become a significant hindrance to your progress. This is why discretion and discernment are essential. Not everyone who shows interest in your life deserves to know the intimate details of your journey. When you share too much with the wrong people, you risk giving them the ammunition they need to sabotage your dreams. Just as Joseph's brothers used his dream against him, your enemies can use the information you freely give them to plot against you, to discourage you, or to lead you astray from your God-given purpose. Enemies are often motivated by fear and insecurity. They see the potential in you that they do not see in themselves. They recognize the greatness within you, and instead of celebrating it, they seek to undermine it. This is why the Bible warns us in 1 Peter 5:8, be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. The devil often works through people, using them to try to derail you from your divine path. Being aware of your enemies doesn't mean living in fear or paranoia. It means being wise and strategic about who you allow into your inner circle. It means testing the spirits, as the Apostle John advises, to see if they are from God. Jesus himself demonstrated this wisdom. He knew that not everyone who followed him was truly with him. Even among his 12 disciples, there was Judas who would ultimately betray him. Yet Jesus was not caught off guard because he was discerning. You must also recognize that some enemies are not aware of their own motivations. They may not consciously intend to harm you, but their actions, driven by envy or misunderstanding, can still cause damage. This is why it's important to guard your heart and be selective about what you share when you are mindful of who you confide in. You protect yourself from unnecessary harm and preserve the integrity of your mission. Another critical aspect of being aware of enemies is understanding the importance of spiritual warfare. The Bible teaches us that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms, Ephesians 6:12. Your real enemy is not the person who harbors ill will against you, but the spiritual forces that influence them. This is why it's essential to stay rooted in prayer, to seek God's guidance, and to put on the full armor of God. When you do this, you can stand firm against the enemy's schemes and continue to move forward in your purpose. Finally, remember that God is your ultimate protector. He sees the hearts of men, and he knows the plans of those who plot against you. When you remain faithful to him and trust in his protection, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. God can turn the plans of your enemies into stepping stones for your victory, just as he did with Joseph. What his brothers meant for evil, God used for good, elevating Joseph to a position of power and influence. In conclusion, being aware of your enemies is about exercising wisdom, discernment, and strategic discretion. It's about recognizing that not everyone who appears to be for you truly is, and taking the necessary steps to protect your heart, your dreams, and your destiny. By being vigilant, staying connected to God, and surrounding yourself with those who genuinely support you, you can navigate the challenges of life with confidence, knowing that God is on your side. Remember, you are not called to live in fear, but in the wisdom that comes from God. Trust him to expose the enemies in your life, and he will guide you on the path to victory. Selective sharing is a powerful and strategic approach to managing the information you reveal about yourself. In an age where oversharing has become commonplace, where social media encourages us to broadcast every detail of our lives, understanding the importance of selective sharing is more crucial than ever. It's about being intentional and discerning with the information you disclose, ensuring that what you share serves a purpose and protects your personal and spiritual well-being. Selective sharing starts with the recognition that not everything about your life needs to be public knowledge. Your thoughts, dreams, struggles, and plans are valuable, and like anything valuable, they must be handled with care. The Bible speaks to this in Matthew 7:6, where Jesus advises, do not give dogs what is sacred, do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. This verse illustrates the importance of being selective with what you share and with whom you share your dreams, your goals, and your innermost thoughts are your pearls, precious and valuable. Sharing them with the wrong people can lead to them being trampled on, misunderstood, or even used against you. The practice of selective sharing requires discernment, the ability to evaluate the character and intentions of those around you. Not everyone in your circle needs to know the intimate details of your life. Some people are only meant to know you on a surface level, while others who have proven themselves trustworthy and aligned with your values may be granted deeper access to your thoughts and plans. This doesn't mean you are being secretive or distrustful. Rather, it's about exercising wisdom in how you steward the information God has entrusted to you. Selective sharing also involves timing. Even the right information, shared at the wrong time, can have negative consequences. Consider how Jesus managed the revelation of his identity as the Messiah. He was careful about when and to whom he disclosed this truth, knowing that premature sharing could hinder his mission. In the same way, there are certain aspects of your life that should be shared only when the time is right, when the person you are sharing with is ready to receive it, and when the circumstances align with God's timing. Moreover, selective sharing protects you from unnecessary vulnerability. Not everyone needs to know your weaknesses or the challenges you face. While it's important to have a support system and to share your burdens with trusted individuals, it's equally important to recognize that some people may not have your best interest at heart. Sharing your struggles with those who are not genuinely supportive can lead to gossip, judgment, or even sabotage. By being selective, you ensure that your vulnerabilities are safeguarded and that you receive the support you need from those who truly care. Another aspect of selective sharing is the preservation of your mental and emotional energy. When you share too much with too many people, you may find yourself constantly explaining, defending, or justifying your decisions and actions. This can be draining and distracting, pulling you away from your focus on God and your purpose. Selective sharing allows you to conserve your energy so you can invest it where it truly matters: on your growth, your relationship with God, and the pursuit of your goals. Selective sharing also plays a role in maintaining your influence and authority. When you are measured in what you reveal, you command more respect. People recognize that you are intentional with your words and actions, which adds weight to what you do choose to share. This approach mirrors the way Jesus often spoke in parables. Sharing truths with those who are truly listening and ready to understand. By being selective, you ensure that your message reaches those who are prepared to receive it, amplifying its impact. Furthermore, selective sharing aligns with the principle of boundaries. Healthy boundaries are essential in all relationships, whether personal, professional, or spiritual. By practicing selective sharing, you establish clear boundaries about what is personal and what is public. This protects your privacy and ensures that you maintain control over your own narrative. It also helps others understand that while you are open to sharing certain aspects of your life, there are areas that remain private, fostering respect for your personal space. Finally, selective sharing is about trusting in God's guidance. The Holy Spirit can lead you in discerning what to share and with whom. When you lean on God for wisdom, He will direct your steps, helping you navigate relationships with grace and integrity. This allows you to build meaningful connections with others while also protecting the sacred aspects of your life that are meant to be kept between you and God. In conclusion, selective sharing is a strategic and wise approach to managing the information you disclose about yourself. It helps you protect your heart, maintain healthy boundaries, and preserve your influence. By being intentional about what you share and with whom, you safeguard your dreams, your vulnerabilities, and your personal narrative. Remember, not everyone needs to know everything about you. Practice selective sharing, and you will navigate your relationships with greater wisdom, peace, and purpose. Wisdom in relationships is one of the most valuable tools you can possess. It's the ability to navigate your connections with others in a way that aligns with your values, protects your heart, and honors your purpose. Relationships are a fundamental part of life, but not all relationships are created equal. Understanding the dynamics of each relationship and exercising wisdom in how you engage with others can significantly impact your journey, your well-being, and your destiny. The Bible speaks extensively about the importance of wisdom in relationships. Proverbs 13:20 tells us, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." This verse highlights the power of association. The people you surround yourself with can either elevate you or pull you down. Wisdom in relationships involves discerning who you allow into your inner circle, who you confide in, and who you choose to walk alongside on your journey. One aspect of wisdom in relationships is recognizing that not everyone has the same role in your life. Some people are meant to be acquaintances, others are friends, and a select few may become confidants or mentors. It's important to categorize your relationships correctly and to understand the level of access and influence each person should have. This requires discernment and careful observation of people's character, intentions, and consistency over time. For example, Jesus had different levels of relationships. He ministered to the masses, taught his disciples, and had an inner circle of 3 Peter, James, and John, with whom he shared more intimate moments. Even within this inner circle, he showed discretion and wisdom in what he revealed. Jesus understood that different people have different capacities for understanding and handling the truths of his mission. Similarly, wisdom in relationships means recognizing that not everyone in your life is equipped to handle the fullness of who you are or what you are called to do. Wisdom in relationships also involves setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. They define what is acceptable and what is not, ensuring that your relationships are healthy, balanced, and mutually respectful. Without boundaries, relationships can become draining, manipulative, or even toxic. Wisdom guides you in establishing these boundaries, helping you to say no when necessary and to guard your heart against negative influences. Another critical aspect of wisdom in relationships is understanding the importance of trust. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, but it should not be given lightly. Wisdom teaches you to build trust over time through consistent actions and demonstrated loyalty. It also helps you recognize when trust has been broken and how to respond appropriately. While forgiveness is a virtue, wisdom in relationships includes knowing when to restore trust and when to maintain a safe distance to protect yourself from further harm. Wisdom in relationships also means being mindful of the influence others have on you. The people you associate with have the power to shape your thoughts, behaviors, and attitudes. This is why the Bible warns us in 1 Corinthians 15:33, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. If you surround yourself with people who are negative, cynical, or ungodly, their influence can lead you away from your purpose and from the life God has called you to live. Wisdom helps you choose relationships that inspire, uplift, and encourage you to grow closer to God and to pursue your goals with integrity. Furthermore, wisdom in relationships involves effective communication. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it and to whom you say it. Knowing when to speak, when to listen, and when to remain silent are all aspects of relational wisdom. Communication is a powerful tool that can either build up or tear down a relationship. Wisdom guides you in using your words carefully, ensuring that they align with your values and that they foster understanding, respect, and connection. In addition, wisdom in relationships includes the ability to let go when necessary. Not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some people come into your life for a season, to teach you something, or to accompany you on a particular part of your journey. When that season ends, wisdom helps you recognize when it's time to release that relationship with grace and gratitude. Holding on to relationships that have run their course can hinder your growth and prevent you from stepping into the next phase of your life. Lastly, wisdom in relationships is rooted in your relationship with God. As you cultivate your relationship with Him, He imparts His wisdom to you, helping you navigate all other relationships with discernment, grace, and love. God's wisdom enables you to see people as He sees them, to love them without losing yourself, and to engage with them in a way that honors Him and furthers His purpose in your life. In conclusion, wisdom in relationships is about being intentional, discerning, and strategic in how you connect with others. It involves understanding the different roles people play in your life, setting healthy boundaries, building and maintaining trust, and communicating effectively. By applying wisdom to your relationships, you protect your heart, honor your purpose, and create a network of support that propels you toward your God-given destiny. Remember, not every relationship is meant to be deep or lifelong, but every relationship can be managed with wisdom and grace. The power of silence is a concept that transcends mere quietness. It is a profound tool that can shape your interactions, protect your peace, and enhance your influence. In a world that often equates noise with power and expression with control, the ability to harness the power of silence is a mark of true wisdom and strength. Silence is not just the absence of speech, it is the presence of thoughtfulness, intention, and strategic restraint. The power of silence is also evident in how it protects your personal and spiritual well-being. Not every thought, plan, or emotion needs to be expressed. There is wisdom in keeping certain aspects of your life private, sharing them only when necessary and with those who have earned your trust. When you speak less, you guard your heart and mind from unnecessary scrutiny, judgment, and misunderstanding. Silence allows you to process your thoughts and emotions, giving you time to align them with your values and beliefs before expressing them. This ensures that when you do speak, your words are measured, intentional, and impactful. Moreover, silence can be a strategic advantage in conflict or negotiation in heated situations. The person who remains silent often holds the most power, while others may rush to speak out of anger, frustration, or fear. The one who remains calm and silent can maintain control of the situation. Silence in these moments allows you to avoid saying something you might later regret, and it often compels the other party to reconsider their own words and actions. The power of silence can diffuse tension, create space for reflection, and open the door to more constructive dialogue. Silence also plays a vital role in your spiritual life. It is in silence that we often hear the voice of God. Most clearly, the Bible frequently mentions the importance of silence and stillness in our relationship with God. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." This stillness, this silence is where we find clarity, direction, and peace. In the quiet moments, free from the distractions and noise of the world, we can connect with God on a deeper level, receiving the wisdom and guidance we need for our lives. Silence becomes a sanctuary, a place where our souls can rest and be renewed. In relationships, the power of silence can be a tool for creating respect and boundaries. By not always responding immediately or revealing everything about yourself, you cultivate an aura of mystery and depth. This not only protects your personal space, but also encourages others to approach you with respect and consideration. People often value more highly what they do not fully understand or possess, and silence can create this dynamic in your interactions. It also signals that you are not easily swayed or manipulated, that you are thoughtful and intentional in your actions and words. The power of silence also extends to your personal growth and decision-making processes. When faced with difficult choices or challenges, silence gives you the space to think critically, to weigh your options, and to seek God's guidance. It is in the quiet moments that you can hear your inner voice, the Holy Spirit, guiding you toward the right path. Rushing to speak or act without taking time for silent reflection can lead to impulsive decisions that you might later regret. By embracing silence, you allow yourself the opportunity to make choices that are in line with your values and long-term goals. In addition, silence can be a form of resistance and strength. There are times when silence speaks louder than words, especially in the face of injustice or false accusations. By refusing to engage in arguments or defend yourself against baseless claims, you demonstrate confidence in your integrity and trust in God's justice. Jesus himself exemplified this during his trial, where he remained silent in the face of accusations. Matthew 26:63. His silence was not weakness, but strength, a powerful testament to his inner resolve and faith in God's plan. Lastly, the power of silence is a reminder that not everything needs to be said, and not every situation requires your input. There is great freedom in knowing that you do not have to respond to every provocation, nor do you have to fill every silence with words. Embracing silence allows you to conserve your energy for what truly matters, focusing on your purpose and the mission God has given you. In conclusion, the power of silence is a valuable tool that enhances your relationships, protects your personal and spiritual well-being, and strengthens your influence. It allows you to listen, reflect, and act with wisdom and intention. By embracing silence, you create space for deeper connections with others, with yourself, and with God. Remember, silence is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of wisdom, discernment, and inner strength. Use it wisely, and you will find that the power of silence can be one of your greatest assets in life. Rooting your identity in God also shields you from the emotional and spiritual turmoil that comes from basing your self-worth on external factors. If your identity is tied to your career, your relationships, or your accomplishments, then any setback in these areas can lead to a crisis of identity. But when your identity is grounded in God, you remain stable and secure. Even in the face of challenges, you know that your worth does not fluctuate based on circumstances because it is rooted in the unchanging love of God. Moreover, when your identity is rooted in God, you are less likely to overshare, or seek validation from others, you don't need to broadcast every detail of your life or seek approval from people who may not have your best interests at heart. You understand that your life is not a performance to be judged by others, but a journey to be lived in accordance with God's purpose for you. This understanding gives you the confidence to be selective about what you share and with whom, protecting your heart and maintaining your focus on what truly matters. Rooting your identity in God also empowers you to withstand criticism and rejection. The reality is that not everyone will understand or appreciate your values, your faith, or your decisions, but when your identity is rooted in God, you can handle criticism without it shaking your sense of self. You are grounded in the knowledge that God's opinion is the one that ultimately matters. This allows you to respond to criticism with grace without compromising who you are or the principles you stand for. Rooting your identity in God also strengthens your resilience. Life will inevitably bring challenges, disappointments, and moments of doubt, but when your identity is anchored in God, you have a solid foundation that helps you bounce back from setbacks. You are reminded that your life is in God's hands and that He has a plan for you. Even when things don't go as expected, this resilience is rooted in the assurance that God is with you, guiding you through every trial and helping you grow stronger in your faith. In relationships, rooting your identity in God enables you to establish healthy boundaries. When you know your worth in God, you are less likely to allow others to define or diminish you. You can engage in relationships from a place of wholeness without compromising your values or seeking validation from others. This leads to healthier, more balanced relationships where you can give and receive love without losing yourself in the process. Additionally, when your identity is rooted in God, you become a reflection of His love and grace to others. Your confidence and security in God allow you to serve others selflessly without needing recognition or praise. You can love others unconditionally just as God loves you because your identity is not tied to how others treat you, but to how God sees you. This makes you a powerful witness of God's love, drawing others to Him through your example. In conclusion, rooting your identity in God is the cornerstone of living a life of authenticity, stability, and purpose. It means anchoring your sense of self, not in the shifting sands of external validation or societal expectations, but in the unchanging truth of who you are in Christ. When your identity is grounded in God, you gain the freedom to live authentically, shielded from the pressures of conforming to others' opinions and the uncertainties of life's challenges. By understanding your value as a beloved child of God, you are empowered to navigate relationships with wisdom, to maintain your peace amidst criticism, and to pursue your purpose with clarity and confidence. This divine anchor provides you with the strength to withstand adversity, the resilience to overcome setbacks, and the grace to love others selflessly. Embracing the power of silence and the practice of selective sharing becomes easier when you are secure in your identity in God. You no longer need to seek validation or reveal every detail of your life to gain acceptance. Instead, you live from a place of deep inner security, trusting that your worth and purpose are rooted in the eternal and unchanging love of God.